Pause for a moment. Picture this. You wake up and notice the things that once lit you up now leave you cold. Hobbies feel distant. Conversations loop the same tired patterns. Goals you spent years chasing suddenly ring hollow. At first it's unsettling. You might wonder if you're broken, lazy, depressed, or just checked out of life. But what if this isn't a breakdown? What if it's a message? What if losing interest isn't decline, it's the first whisper of deep inner change? Today we'll explore a powerful idea rooted in Carl Jung's work, that this very emptiness can signal one of the most important transformations of your life. Stick with me to the end. The final insight may reshape how you see your struggles, your purpose, and yourself. If this resonates, hit subscribe, drop a like, and share this with someone quietly wrestling with the same hollow feeling. And in the comments, tell me, what have you lost interest in lately? What we uncover next might reframe everything. Jung saw the psyche as alive, restless, always nudging us toward wholeness. When we cling too long to outdated roles or borrowed ambitions, the psyche doesn't shout, it withdraws. He called this vital force libido, not just sexual energy, but the spark behind curiosity, passion, motivation. When it retreats, the world dims, colors fade, meaning evaporates. This isn't failure, it's alignment breaking down. The life you're living no longer fits who you're becoming. And the psyche speaks not in logic, but in feeling. Boredom, numbness, apathy. These aren't flaws, they're signals. Society tells us to fear this state, to hustle harder, chase motivation, fix the problem. But Jung saw it differently, a threshold, the quiet before. Individuation, the lifelong journey toward becoming your truest self. Ever notice how success sometimes leaves you emptier? Jung explained this through the persona, the mask we wear for the world. When we over-identify with roles, expectations, and external validation, the deeper self gets ignored. Eventually, the unconscious revolts, not with drama, but by draining meaning from those pursuits. That's why the collapse feels so disorienting. But the void isn't random, it's intentional. It clears space for reflection, for truth, for values discovered within, not borrowed from outside. Thinkers across time saw this pattern. Nietzsche spoke of old values crumbling before new ones rise. Frankl linked meaning crises to deeper purpose. Ancient traditions called inner dryness a precursor to awakening. Discomfort, it turns out, can be sacred ground. So ask yourself, what have you lost interest in? Work, relationships, the chase itself? And what might that loss be revealing? Don't rush to fill the silence. Jung warned that resisting this withdrawal only deepens the ache. Distracting yourself, forcing enthusiasm, it muffles the very voice trying to guide you. Real growth begins when you sit with the emptiness, without judgment, without panic. What if this isn't a loss of motivation, but an invitation? A call to descend inward so something more authentic can emerge. When interest in the outer world fades, it rarely comes alone. Anxiety surfaces without clear cause. Sadness arrives even when life looks fine. Restlessness mixes with a strange unwillingness to act. Jung saw these not as random glitches, but as signs the psyche is reorganizing. Beneath the surface, as psychic energy withdraws from external pursuits, it doesn't vanish. It turns inward. And with fewer distractions, you're left face to face with thoughts, memories, and emotions you've long avoided. Old questions return. Who am I beyond my job or relationships? Does my life reflect what I truly value? Jung believed these aren't accidents. They're the unconscious demanding integration. Surface level meaning no longer satisfies. Depth is required. This inward shift often mirrors what Jung called confronting the shadow, the parts of ourselves we've denied or never developed. Without outer stimulation, these hidden layers rise: self-doubt, irritability, regret, or sudden awareness of personal flaws. But this isn't punishment. It's an invitation to wholeness. Many mistake this phase for depression. There's overlap, but Jung drew a crucial distinction. This kind of emotional low often carries symbolic purpose. It slows you down, interrupts autopilot, and creates space for reflection. Think of nature. A seed must sink into darkness before sprouting. A caterpillar must dissolve inside the cocoon before becoming a butterfly. This emptiness? It's your cocoon phase. Externally, it looks like stagnation. Internally, transformation is underway. The real danger lies in misunderstanding it. Modern culture pushes constant productivity and forced positivity. When we feel empty, we're told to push through or stay busy. Jung warned this backfires. Ignoring the psyche's call for inward attention only intensifies the ache. Ever noticed how faking enthusiasm drains you further? Psychic energy can't be commanded. It must be listened to. Your task now isn't to regain interest quickly. It's to ask quieter, deeper questions. What no longer feels authentic? What roles am I playing that ring hollow? Which desires were handed to me and which are truly mine? Answers won't come overnight. They unfold through stillness, dreams, and honest self-observation. You may feel lonely. People around you seem content with routines that no longer satisfy you. Jung saw this as natural during individuation. Your inner compass is recalibrating. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming real. Ask yourself, are you afraid of the emptiness or afraid of what it might reveal? What truths might surface if you stopped running and simply listened? This inward turn isn't permanent. It's a necessary passage. At some point in this inward journey, a quiet choice emerges, often unnoticed. You can numb the discomfort and retreat to familiar routines, or you can stay present and let the process unfold. Jung believed this decision shapes everything, whether emptiness becomes silent suffering or a doorway to growth. The psyche doesn't ask for endurance alone. It asks for conscious presence, not forced optimism, not frantic busyness, just attentive awareness. As outer interests fade, the inner world sharpens, dreams intensify, old memories resurface, emotions feel raw, confusing, or amplified. Jung saw these not as breakdowns, but as the unconscious speaking, seeking balance and renewed meaning. Two traps commonly derail this phase. First, self-judgment, interpreting disinterest as personal failure, comparing yourself to others who seem on track. Jung warned this is especially destructive. Individuation follows no social timeline. It unfolds according to your own inner necessity. Second, over-identifying with the emptiness itself. You are not your apathy. You are not your confusion. These are passing states, not your identity. Stay in dialogue with them, but don't let them define you. Jung also highlighted symbols as vital guides when logic falls short. Art, myth, journaling, quiet contemplation. These give form to what's still forming within. They bridge conscious thought and unconscious truth without demanding premature clarity. History echoes this pattern. Philosophers, artists, scientists all described fallow periods where meaning collapsed before breakthroughs emerged. Jung saw this as psychological law. Creation requires dissolution. Emotionally, this stage oscillates. Some days bring calm relief, others anxiety or drift. Jung encouraged patience. The psyche moves in rhythms, not straight lines. Forcing stability too soon interrupts its natural course. Here's a key insight. Meaning can't be forced, but it can be prepared for. By tolerating uncertainty, by holding space without rushing to fill it, you allow new values to surface. Not because they're impressive or rewarded, but because they feel alive. When interest returns, it arrives differently. Not as frantic excitement or hunger for validation, but as quiet commitment. Jung trusted these subtle signals more than loud passions. They point toward authenticity. This marks a profound shift, from a life driven by adaptation to one guided by inner truth. Early on, adaptation is necessary. We learn to belong, to survive. But eventually, the psyche demands more. Losing interest in borrowed goals is often the first sign that demand has arrived. Your relationships may shift too. Small talk feels draining. You crave depth, honesty, silence. Jung didn't see this as withdrawal. It's refinement. As you align inwardly, your energy becomes more selective, more intentional. Ask yourself, What if this phase isn't teaching detachment, but discernment? Sharpening your sense for what's genuine versus what's performative. Instead of wondering when motivation will return, ask, what kind of motivation am I willing to live for? And then, often without fanfare, something shifts. After the stillness, a subtle interest returns, calmer, deeper, more stable. Not the restless chase of before, but a quiet pull toward what feels necessary, even if modest or unglamorous. Jung saw this as the turning point, meaning no longer borrowed from outside, but arising from within. You're surprised by what now matters. Status loses its grip. Approval feels irrelevant. What remains is what resonates with who you're becoming, not who you were told to be. You may find yourself drawn to simplicity, depth, or quiet service, not constant stimulation. Jung saw this not as diminished ambition, but refined values. The ego no longer leads alone. It begins conversing with the deeper self, and here lies the crucial realization. Losing interest was never the death of your vitality. It was energy withdrawing from what no longer deserved it. The psyche was protecting you from a life out of alignment. What felt like emptiness was actually clearing. What felt like stagnation was preparation. Jung described individuation as the courage to live your own life, not the one others expect. This courage isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, rooted. And when interest returns after this inner withdrawal, it carries that same quality. You no longer chase meaning. You recognize it when it appears. Thinkers across time converge here. Frankl saw meaning arise when we commit to something beyond ego. Nietzsche spoke of creating new values after old ones collapse. Jung revealed the psychology beneath it all. This unfolding happens naturally when we listen to the unconscious instead of silencing it. Doubt doesn't vanish, but it stops paralyzing you. It becomes part of a living process. You learn to trust inner signals over external noise. You sense what drains you and what nourishes you, even when it challenges you. Relationships shift again, but differently now. You don't withdraw from emptiness. You choose connection based on authenticity. You may speak less, but with greater honesty. Do less, but with deeper presence. Jung called this psychological maturity. So ask yourself, what if the disinterest you feared was actually your psyche refusing a life too small for you? What if it was the most honest response your inner world could offer? What if the real question isn't, how do I get my motivation back? But what kind of life deserves my energy? This is the final insight. Losing interest isn't life losing meaning. It's false meanings falling away. The psyche clearing ground so something real can take root. When you understand this, fear softens into respect. Resistance opens into curiosity. Confusion settles into quiet confidence. If you're in that space now, feeling disconnected, uninspired, hollow, don't rush to escape it. Listen, reflect, stay present. This may be the moment your life asks you to. Stop living on autopilot and start living truthfully. And when interest returns, as it will, you'll recognize it not by intensity, but by authenticity. Not by noise, but by depth. Not by excitement alone, but by meaning. This isn't an ending. It's the beginning of becoming who you truly are. You'll start seeing emotions differently, not as problems to fix, but as messages to understand. Jung insisted the psyche speaks even in silence. Apathy, boredom, disinterest, they aren't empty. They're symbolic. They interrupt the familiar precisely to wake you up. Looking back, you may realize every major shift in your life was preceded by inner discomfort, moments when certainty dissolved. When the path forward blurred, Jung would say this is no accident. Growth moves not just by adding, but by subtracting. What no longer fits must fall away. Those who move through this phase often emerge with a new relationship to time, less rushed, less reactive, less desperate to prove themselves. Interest, when it returns, is no longer scattered. It's concentrated, focused, intentional. Jung saw this concentration as one of the clearest signs. You're living closer to your center. Suffering transforms too. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is this asking of me? This isn't naive optimism. It's psychological realism. Meaning doesn't erase pain, but it makes pain bearable. A quiet responsibility emerges, not imposed from outside, but born of self-knowledge. You realize ignoring your inner truth has consequences. Conformity without authenticity always circles back to emptiness. And this awareness isn't heavy, it's clarifying. Jung warned the real danger isn't losing interest in everything, it's losing interest in yourself. This phase is the opposite, the psyche reclaiming attention, pulling energy back home. What follows isn't a return to the old life, but the emergence of a more conscious one. So when you hear you'll start losing interest in everything, don't hear decline, hear threshold, a crossing point between who you were and who you're becoming, between borrowed meaning and discovered purpose, between noise and depth. If you're standing at that threshold now, you're not late, not broken, not failing. You're listening to a signal many ignore for decades, and that alone places you on a different path. As Jung wrote, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Sometimes the first step toward that privilege is losing interest in everything you are not. Thank you for watching.